Hey guys, Evil here. This is just an update. It's part of my Honcho upgrade series. I've had a few upgrades accumulating here now for a while, so just thought I'd bring you guys up to date on what I'm getting ready to do, and we'll get coverage of installing all that. First thing you'll notice is the new body. I went away from the stock green body, mainly so I could do lights. You can put the light buckets in the aftermarket body. I installed the Dark Drifter LED kit, and it has parking lights and headlights. Plan on doing some different tail lights in the future, but for right now all it has in the back are the stock RTR lights, as well as it has the stock fog lights. That's the big first thing you'll notice. Another thing is Project Old Gold, which some of you may have seen. I actually robbed some electronics, some of the RTR electronics out of my Honcho to get it going for my dad. So I've got some electronics to replace it. Just a regular Spectrum receiver. I picked up a Holmes Hobby 27 single to replace the RTR motor. This one is rebuildable, as well as ball bearing, so it'll be more efficient, and just generally should perform better and a little more maintenance friendly. I'm going to be taking the stock ESC out and replacing it with this Castle Mamba Max, just for adjustability. It's also a little bit smaller. This is the gear cover out of my Wraith that I had to take off because the drive shaft wouldn't clear. So I thought, since my SCX10 has the old style gearbox where the spur is just exposed, that it would go great on there. For this thing being a trail truck, it would definitely help it survive the rough elements. These are R35 ripsaws. These came in the Dingo kit I bought, but I'm going to be putting these on the Honcho because I'm anxious to try out the new softer compound. They should work really well. I was really happy with the standard compounds that I tested, so anxious to get those going. That's just another set of stock SCX10 wheels. And then the last thing is a winch. I got a get off of there, you. I got a 3 racing winch to install. That's another reason why I'm going to my M11 with Spectrum, because it's 3-channel and I'll be able to control that winch. And we'll get that baby mounted right in there. So, got quite a bit of upgrades going on for the Honcho. I'll go ahead and get started. Time to pop the Holmes Hobby 27 single in. Next, I'm going to go ahead and pop the gear cover on. And there we go. Spur gear cover installed. You have to remove these 3 spacers The back of the gear cover actually replaces those. They're actually molded into the plastic. So I'm going to check my gear lash again before I put the cover on. It shouldn't have moved, but since I took that spur off, I definitely want to check it. Feels pretty good. So put the slipper back together and move on to the next. There we go. Gear cover installed. Motor installed. Just need to install the ESC. Get things soldered up. Alright, so here it is, put back together. Got the rip saws on there. Got the Mamba Max installed along with the Torque Master 27 turn. Should be all ready to go. Had to hold off on the winch for now. Need a Y connector, so I couldn't wire it today, but just wanted to get it going so that I could take it out with my pop if he wants to go for a Christmas Day drive. So that was today's main objective. I'll do the winch later on in the video. So I'm working on getting the winch installed, and I did a little bit of research just to see how other people are installing these winches on Honchos, and as it turns out, the bumper is already pre-scored to bolt straight into the bolt pattern for the 3 racing winch. The holes aren't punched through. You have to go ahead and punch them through with a drill, but I mean, once you get them punched through, what they call it, a fair lead or whatever this thing's called for the winch, the guide, roller guide essentially, is already lined up for it. So what I've had to do is get a little bit longer screws, because I'm just going to mount from the bottom and go straight into the winch. That way it'll be stronger and much easier to take the thing on and off. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted up, and then we'll get the skid plate cut. And there we go, got the winch mounted up. Looks nice and clean. Now I just have to trim this plate so it'll clear. Now I'm just working on test fitting the skid plate, getting it around the front of the winch. It's just not quite there yet. I'm actually, I took a Dremel and dug this out, and then took a hand file, and I'm just been hand filing. I'm just going to keep working on it until that'll just fit up in there just perfectly, and then it'll look pretty nice. Anyway, back to the vise to do some more filing. And there we go. After probably 20-25 minutes of filing, fitting and refitting, we got a pretty nice tight fit. That'll look pretty sharp. I got the bumper mounted, got the winch installed. Just gonna put on this plate. And there we go. We'll put on the hook and move on to electronics. I think after looking at this, I'm going to mount the control unit on the body. And then I'm just going to put a three-way coming out of the radio box so that I can still have one of my sets of lights hooked up to it. I can get signal to this controller from the receiver, and then the plug will just be out here so I can unplug it and take the body off like normal. I have to unplug anyway for the LED kit, so that'll get my controller up here to where I can button push it if I need to. So let's go ahead and tear it down. Alright, I need to switch this over to Dean's. I'm going to be powering it with a small 7.4 volt 2S LiPo. Alright, so finally got it all mounted up. Actually ended up mounting the controller right there on top of the ESC. The battery way just wasn't going to work out. But here's the winch. Got it going on the third channel of my radio. So that pretty much concludes what I got going for this upgrade session. I gotta find somewhere to mount this battery. I may just Velcro it on top. This thing's pretty beastly, it's pretty heavy. The ESC tucked under there, there's my new motor. Got the ripsaws going on. And got the winch installed, so, and there it is with the body on. Got some different light modes. Or you can just run them off if you want, or just straight on. Alright, that's it for now. We'll conclude when we figure out a few more things to do.